Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopidana Girivaradhari Yasodhanandana Rajanana Yasodhanandana Rajanana Yamuna Tira Yamuna Tira Yamuna Tira Yamuna Tira Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjam Bihari Jaya Shri Krishna Caitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Radha Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta-vrinda Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Harinam Sankirtanya ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava ki jai. All glories to the Swami of the world. All glories to Sri Guru Shiva. Jai Jai Sri Caitanya, Jaya Nityananda. Jai Jai Sri Caitanya, Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Jai Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Reading from the Sri Chaitanya Caritamrta, Antya Lila, Chapter 11, the Passing of Haridas Thakur, Text 105. Mahabhagavat Haridas Parama Vidvan. E Subhagya Lagi Age Karila Prayan. Mahabhagavat Haridas Parama Vidvan. Mahabhagavat Haridas Parama Vidvan. He Subhagya Lagi Age Karila Prayan. Mahabhagavat Haridas Parama Vidvan. He Subhagya Lagi Age Karila Prayan.
Mahabhagavat Haridas Parama Vidvan. He Subhagya Lagi Age Karila Prayan.
Mahabhagavat Haridas Parama Vidvan.
Haridas, Haridas Thakur, Paramavidvan, the most learned. He Subhagyalagi, because of his great fortune. Age, first. Karila Prayan, he passed away. Translation. Haridas Thakur was not only the topmost devotee of the Lord, but also a great and learned scholar. It was his great fortune that he passed away before Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. Haridas Thakur is mentioned here as the most learned scholar, Parama Vidvan. Actually, the most important science to know is the science of getting out of the clutches of material existence. Anyone who knows this science must be considered the greatest learned person. Anyone who knows the temporary situation of this material world and is expert in achieving a permanent situation in the spiritual world, who knows that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is beyond the jurisdiction of our experimental knowledge, is understood to be the most learned scholar. Haridas Thakur knew this science perfectly. Therefore, he is described in this connection as Parama Vidvan. He personally preached the importance of chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, which is approved by the revealed scripture, as stated in the Srimad Bhagavatam 7:24. Iti pum sarpita Vishnu bhaktischena valaksana kriyeti bhagavati adatan manye jitam uttamam. There are 9 different processes of devotional service to Krishna, the most important being Savanam, Kirtanam, hearing and chanting. Haridas Thakur knew this science very well, and he can therefore be called technically Sarva Shastra Diti. Anyone who has learned the essence of all the Vedic scriptures is to be known as a first-class, educated person with full knowledge of all Shastra. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnanandana Salakya Shakshurunminitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manovistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So Haridas Thakur is the most learned scholar. Because not only does he theoretically know the conclusions of the scriptures, but he has full faith in these conclusions. Full faith that these very conclusions are the absolute truth, and that there is nothing else. Therefore, Haridas was able to just chant the holy name, because he had that understanding that chanting of the Maha Mantra is the topmost activity. And of course, all of us can repeat that and say it 1,000 times, but how long can we chant? And after a while, we get tired of chanting and want to do something else. That means that we do not accept chanting as the topmost activity. Otherwise, if we would accept chanting as the topmost activity, why would we do anything else? Yeah, we would do nothing else. So our faith is incomplete in that sense. Yes. Although we hear it again and again in this age of Kali, the Yuga Dharma is the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. We hear, and we say, and we can tell it to the world if we want to, but how to live it. So here is Haridas Thakur, Sarva Jagatir Arya. He is perfect in achar and prachar. He is perfect in behavior and in preaching, both. As a teacher, he is perfect because his behavior is perfect. And then in the theme on achar and prachar, there's a series of verses that explain some are behaving very nicely but are not preaching, and others are preaching but they're not behaving very nicely. But in the case of Haridas, it is both are there. So Haridas it's called Sarva Shastra Diti. He has learned the essence of all the Vedic scripture. And that is the point. It is the essence. It is described that one can easily become bewildered by the flowery words of the Vedas. There are so many apparently contradictory instructions in Vedic literatures, that when we are trying to come to the essence, then that is very difficult. Bhamnum jamanamante kyanavamam prapadinte vasudeva sarvam iti samahatma sadurlabha. To understand after many, many births that Vasudeva is everything, the son of Vasudeva is Vasudeva, Krishna, that he is everything, that understanding is very rare, very rare. And then, Krishna, sorry. Phew. So I just closed my eyes. So Vasudeva, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is everything. What does that mean? For some it may mean that we understand that yes, he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Others may understand in great depth how he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is one of the exchanges between Haridas and Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu are about the conditioned souls. And at one point Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, oh, how will all these conditioned souls who have taken their birth in non-moving species like trees or in other lower species, all those living beings that cannot chant, how will they be delivered? And then Haridas says, my dear Lord, don't be in anxiety. And I like that very much, because usually it's the other way around. Everyone turns to the Lord, oh please Lord, take care of my anxiety, oh Lord, my anxiety. And here is the Lord who is in anxiety, and here is the devotee who says, no, please, don't be in anxiety. Don't be in anxiety, because even the trees are being delivered, because the echo of the chanting of the devotees is bouncing off the trees, and that is the chanting of the trees. And so the trees are also getting delivered. All the living beings are in this way getting delivered. No one is not getting the mercy of the Lord. That is the nature of the Sankirtan movement. Pitiviti Yatshe Yatanagara Digram, everywhere. the holy name will be heard, be sung and heard. That is there. But we are seeing, so we see the widespreading of the Sankirtan movement and touching everyone, and we see the individual who is somehow or other living with the holy name. And yes, living with the holy name is what it means to be part of this movement. And if only we could just chant, just invest more in chanting. The other day I was doing a little video clip and was thinking, yes, if we could just chant again and again, then maybe we might become enchanted, right? You know, we might become enchanted by Krishna and by his amazing qualities. Anyhow, I have meditated on the image of the Panchatattva, and the Panchatattva absorbed in transcendental dance, and how they are followed by the 6 Goswamis, how they are followed by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, how they are followed by Narottam Das Thakur, by Baladev Vijayabhusan, by Srila Jagannath Das Babaji, and Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta, Gaura Das Babaji, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta, Srila Prabhupada, and all Prabhupada's followers. And how amongst Prabhupada's followers there are many very powerful spiritual personalities who are, and then there's us also, right? In that same caravan, I'm visualizing a whole caravan of personalities, and you know, like coming from Caitanya Mahaprabhu, coming all the way from Krishna, Narada Muni is there, and in the back there's us, right? There's us. I mean, how is it possible that people like us are also walking in this caravan? But we are. We are. How? It's mercy, that is clear. No qualification, but by mercy. The topmost is given to the most fallen. And so it's possible. Possible to also chant a little bit, just chant a little, and to attain perfection. Right? To even not chant 100% perfect, and still attain perfection by mercy. That is possible. Yeah. It is not that if we cannot do what Haridas Thakur did, that we are lost. It is not that when we cannot chant 64 rounds, that we are lost. The Chaitanya Bhagavat mentions that one day Lord Chaitanya said that I will accept only an offering from a lakpati. A lakh is 100,000. Yeah, so only from one, a lakpati is one who has 100,000. 500 years ago, a person who had 100,000 rupees was very, very rich. Very rich. So the Brahmins go, well, we are not lakpatis. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, well, I will only accept invitations from lakpatis, right? Those who are chanting 1 lakh of names, 100,000 names, 64 rounds. And there is the reference about chanting 64 rounds every day. Have you ever done for a while? Every day, it's quite, it's a serious number. If you want to effectively chant 64 rounds and at the same time do something, then I would advise to rise around latest 1:30. If you get up latest 1:30 and you skip breakfast, then you could, technically speaking, sort of finish by 9:45. If you're quick, 9:30 or 10. If you're slow, it will be 11. Yeah. So that's it done. Then you might still be able to. Then we might still be able to do something. Otherwise, it can take the whole day. Then chanting 64 rounds becomes just the whole day. But Haridas chanted 3 times that number. And still we see in scriptures that Haridas had time left over. That Haridas would, that he would listen to the lectures of Advaita Acharya. That he would, in the night, also be present in the house of Srivas when Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu was performing kirtan, that he played a part in plays and so on, and we say, oh, I have no time and for all these things. And Haridas somehow or other managed to find so much time because avyakta kalatvam, he didn't waste any time. It is the wasted time that is really, that adds up. Wasted in sleeping, wasted just in pajalpa, wasted in so many things. It is the wasted time that gives us no time. So yes, Haridas Thakur is in all respect a most amazing personality. We're finishing the chapter today, so I'll just read the next verses also. Caitanya Charitre Amritir Sindhu Karnamana Triptukare Jareika Bindu. The life and characteristics of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu were exactly like an ocean of nectar, one drop of which can please the mind and the ear. Bhavasin Uttaribareyache Jarachitta Shadikare Sunase Caitanya Charitra. Anyone who desires to cross over the ocean of nations, please hear with great faith the life and characteristics of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Ruparaganat Pade Jadiyasa Caitanya Caritamrta Hare Krsna Das. Praying at the lotus feet of Sri Rupa and Sri Raghunath, always desiring their mercy, I, Krishna Das, narrate Sri Caitanya Caritamrta, following their footsteps. Thus enter Bhaktivedanta purpose to Sri Caitanya Caritamrta until the 11th chapter, describing the passing of Haridas Thakur. So, reflecting back on the chapter. We see that Haridas, by his extraordinary service, was able to attract also Krishna, was able to attract extraordinary mercy. So this is our meditation. I think we cannot do what Haridas can do, but let us somehow or other take the spirit of Haridas at least, and in the areas where we can do some service, let's do something special. If this is supposed to be our last life in the material world, well, then let's make something of it. Then let's really try and do something special. Not just, also be there. Right? I think in this movement, it appears that there are many people who are also there. You know what I mean? Who somehow or other are also there, and that is also good, because there's a lot of mercy when you're also there. But on the other hand, something special, right? Something special will give special benefits. That spirit used to be there very much when book distribution was the predominant service in this movement. Right? Then there was very much that movement to do something special. Something, and book distributors did something special. And that will, and Krishna will remember that. But something special can be done anywhere. It can be done on the altar, it can be done in the kitchen, it can be done in the office, it can be done in many places. Here in Radhadesh, they used to, I don't know why they stopped, but they used to have, every year after the book marathon, they had this glorification session, which was almost, it was something like what is described in the Caitanya Caritamrta, hot sugar cane, you know. It was like too hard to handle and yet too sweet to resist. Right? I mean, to sit there like 6-7 hours, right, listening to everyone be glorified was on the physical platform excruciating. It was, my body was like, even my mind started to, but then again, it was, everyone could see that it was full of spiritual potency. It was full of spiritual potency. They used to do this here, 6-7 hours, just glorify everybody, everybody, every devotee, not just the book distributor, but every devotee. And it was really, if anyone had something to say, you know, about, and then, yeah, oh well, I want to say, and then, yeah, I'll say something. And it was quite an exercise. And only Radhadesh did that for a while, and then it stopped. I don't know why. But that is indeed a fact that in that community of devotees, all who are there are all doing something, and therefore all are worth to be glorified. And yet there are some devotees like Haridas Thakur, like Lord Caitanya personally glorified him with 5 mouths, it said. And he couldn't stop talking about the glories of Haridas. Right? So even if on a blue moon, you know, even sometimes if we do something special, right? Sometimes, like even once in our life, chant 300,000 names in one day. Just do it. What's stopping you? Say, well, you know, I'm tired. Okay. First sleep 24 hours. 22. So you chant your 16 rounds as well. 22 hours sleeping and 16 rounds. Fine, no problem. But then, for once, at least one time, chant 300,000 names. Why not? So, nah, that's impossible. Why? Why? Because we've decided that it's impossible. Yeah, we've decided. So we have limited ourselves by all these decisions. I cannot do this. I cannot understand this. I'm not ready for this. It's like, today I spoke about the Gopal Champu. I was reading in the last few days about when the Yadus went to Kurukshetra during the solar eclipse, and of course Krishna was there, big yagya being performed, and so many personalities came there because Krishna was there, and it was a very special event. Everyone was invited, but not Nanda Maharaj and Yasoda, but Nanda Maharaj didn't mind. He said, we're going, invited or not. We're going because we don't need to be invited. We, after all, we're Krishna's parents, so we can just rock up any time. There's no need for any formal invitation. Yeah, yes. So they went. And then when they came, there was such an extraordinary moment that Krishna and Balaram came before Nanda Maharaj. And Krishna and Balaram showed so much love, right? But at the same time, because Vasudeva was also there at the same time, therefore they offered obeisances when they saw Nanda Maharaj, instead of embracing him. Normally they would have, not bothered about that, they would have just embraced. But now, because Vasudeva was there, it felt very official, so they bowed down before Nanda Maharaj and Yasoda. And Nanda Maharaj didn't pay attention to that at all, right? He didn't even register it. He just embraced them and smelled the heads and just overwhelmed with love, such love. It's like Vasudeva just stood there. And Vasudeva just looked at it and go like, wow, Nanda has so much love. It's just incredible. And Yasoda, she was in a cart, and the cart was covered with cloth, and Devaki went in there, right? And Devaki, she stood in front on the cart, sat on the cart in front of Yasoda, and and Krishna and Balaram went in there. And when Yasoda saw them, first of all, when Devaki saw Yasoda, she saw that Yasoda looked really terrible. She looked terrible. And she said, my God, Yasoda looks all dried up. She looks totally dried up, right? It's like she started praying, She's thinking, how can I help Yasoda to regain her health? In the separation from Krishna, and look what happened to her. But as soon as she saw Krishna and Balaram, that problem was solved. Immediately she started beaming and she looked totally fresh and wonderful. And tears started streaming, etc. Then everyone present appreciated that Krishna and Balaram, Nanda and Yasoda, that Nanda and Yasoda were the topmost lovers of Krishna. And they all began to worship them. Vasudeva, Devaki, they worshipped them. Because you could just see they were just self-effulgent at that point. They were self-effulgent and start worshipping them. So, sometimes, in the midst of the Vaishnavas, there are self-effulgent personalities. And these self-effulgent personalities, they are taking enormous strides in their devotional service. And then, it's a funny movement, a movement of the giants and the dwarfs. I could write a story about the giants and the dwarfs, right? And it's like these giants, like Prabhupada, is a giant. Actually, in the mid-80s, right, I had this dream, and a dream about Prabhupada, and Prabhupada was a giant. Prabhupada was enormous, and his head was touching the clouds, and Prabhupada had on the cloth in front of his uttarya, there was a pocket, yeah? And in that pocket there were the zonal acharyas. They were looking over the edge, of the pocket, something like a kangaroo, And Prabhupada walked in his stride, and he's, looking up, and the clouds were just touching his head. And then every once in a, and then the acharyas in the pocket, they were saying, we should go this way, we should go that way. And then Prabhupada just ignored it and walked. And then every once in a while, benevolently looked down upon that pocket. It was just a dream. in the 80s, it was sort of quite an enlightening dream. But anyway, today I'm speaking about the giants and the dwarves, right? Sometimes there are these self-effulgent giants, spiritual giants, who are just amazing personalities. And such giants, they are leading this movement. And if the dwarves just have the humility to follow the giants, right? Just follow the giants, then all the dwarves can go back to Godhead. That is the amazing thing. We don't have to be a giant to go back to Godhead. But the giants are specifically sent by Krishna. They are Krishna's representatives, right? To bring all the dwarves of this age of Kali, right? All the spiritual dwarves of the age of Kali back to the spiritual world. And so we are looking at Haridas Thakur, the Namacharya, unmatched. Who can be like him, right? Is he a role model? I don't think so. He's just an ocean of mercy. He is beyond. But if we take a drop of his spirit, if we just try to do a little bit something, maybe chant extra on every Ekadasi, maybe. How about that? Possibly. Jamastami. Now I know a devotee who would chant every Jamastami 128 rounds and who would distribute 128 Bhagavad Gitas every Jamastami for many years. Yeah. And I just fixed his mind on that. I'm gonna do 128 rounds and I'm gonna do 128 Gitas. And then he did it. He did it. Every Jamastami. Yeah. It can be done if you fix the mind. How did Haridas do it? Mind was completely fixed. Completely fixed. Yeah. Not splayed out. Right? Yeah, of course, I would chant 128 rounds, but then again, I am 128 years old, so I have reasons why I can't. Always a reason. Finding reasons, why not? Why not? Why not surrender to Krishna? No. Many reasons. No. That's the dwarf's business. Spending a whole life in spiritual life, wondering why we're here. Why am I here? What am I doing here? I mean, can I really do this? Do I really want to do this? Yeah? And I spent a whole life with this. And somehow or other, still here. Yeah. Why still here? Well, I was just too lazy to go anywhere else. I didn't know what else to do. What else to do? Because, getting a job, I have an allergy, jobs, job allergy. So a job is not an option. That's too much. Then what? Yeah, then what? Well, as we said, just go to the temple, right? And then, as soon as you arrive, say, "Where's Prasad?" That's it. That's it. Yes, as simple as that. Where is life more comfortable? Everything is there. You gotta tolerate a few things, but it's pretty easy. Yes, that's all Prabhupada's mercy. It's Prabhupada that made it that easy. It's Prabhupada that started the Sunday Love Feast, 15 extraordinary preparations and no one had to pay. And you could take home as well. You could live the whole week on it, almost. At least till Thursday. Friday was tough. But Saturday you could already help in the temple to prepare the Sunday feast. Get some maha. And then Sunday, do it again. Yeah. So Prabhupada arranged a lifestyle from Sunday feast to Sunday feast, somehow or other. Could it have been any easier? And here we're living in castles. I mean, it's like, you gotta be more rich than a lakpati to live in a castle. Yeah. But here we are. Here we are. Causeless mercy. So any questions, any comments?
It's about the same question as last time. And then
Same questions, I forgot it.
Thank you very much for your nice comments. Yeah, because I was thinking that Haridas Thakur, he is like an incarnation of Lord Brahma. And if Haridas Thakur chanted on the transcendental platform, then actually he has 4 heads. So in that way, actually, he can chant these 300,000 names in the same time as we will chant, say, 64 rounds. Because for us it's like practically impossible to do this 300,000 names.
Bhaktisiddhanta did it. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta did it with one mouth. The same vow, 300,000 names. He took a vow for 1 billion names and he chanted 10 years to complete that vow, same vow. He did it. To show that it can be done, even if you're not Lord Brahma.
No, we can maybe ask Prema Siddhi how long it takes to chant the 64 rounds.
Yeah, but sometimes I chant 64 rounds and I like to get up at 1:30 when I chant 64 rounds so that I can be finished before 10 o'clock. That's what I do. And then I go to bed at 7:30 the night before, so sleep 6 hours. And it's quite okay.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And then 128. And 128 Gitas.
Who's that?
I mean, his name is Sripati. Yeah. He's Indian, but he lives in England nowadays. Yeah, younger than you. Anyone else? Yes.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, thank you for a wonderful lecture. I was thinking, my Guru Maharaj is always saying to forget what others are doing, are done bad to us, and forget what you done good for others, because then you are proud and etc. And then always remember that death is just there and waiting for you. And always remember Krishna and never forget him. And these rules, I really, really like it while I'm chanting, because often we forget that we can die any moment. And I really like this point you said about chanting.
Who is your spiritual master?
Chandramauli Maharaj.
Oh, Chandramauli Maharaj.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He wrote a whole book with these quotes.
Yeah. Nice.
I really liked your statement about seriousness when you are chanting.
Yeah, Maharaj put a lot of energy into, a lot of thought into about chanting. He gave many lectures on that topic. He likes to speak on chanting the holy name. Yeah. Then you can speak a long time. So that's very sweet. Yes. Yeah.
Your comment that the we all go back in this lifetime. I mean, I find that amazing. So if us dwarves can just sort of hang around and wait for the giants to pull us along, I mean, is that the process that we all go back in this lifetime?
Well, I have some evidence for that. Yeah? I was hoping someone would prod me. But there are a few statements. First of all, Srila Prabhupada. And Srila Prabhupada is saying, there's the, one sec, memory is a little foggy. There's a statement where he gives a lecture about Lord Nrsimhadev and about appearing and upholding the vows that Lord Brahma granted, so he says Risi Uchu, whatever the great saintly personality says, the Lord will uphold. And so the Lord upheld the words of Lord Brahma, not in the day, not in the night. And Prabhupada says then, he says, so then if the pure devotee says, you chant 16 rounds and follow 4 regulative principles and you'll go back to Godhead, then you have to go. Then you have to go. He says like that. That's one occasion. There's in Portland, this is from Dinabandhu. He says that Prabhupada said, if you chant 16 rounds and follow 4 regulative principles, you will go back to Godhead. I guarantee it, I guarantee it, I guarantee it. He said it 3 times. Yeah. So there is hope. Then there's Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, who said that these vows of initiation are so powerful. He said that even although one may not follow them perfectly, still one is attaining full success from this vow of initiation. Yeah? This is in the Harmonist, published Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, his written word. So it's like there are many references by the Acharyas. So let us follow the giants, some or other, little dwarfs.
So with that minimum, if I can get in, I don't have to do anything, I can basically look out the window for the rest of the day.
Yeah, you can look out of the window and do some other crazy things, and no problem, and just take it cheap and and leave it like that. No, of course, we have to do the best we can, and then comes the grace. The grace comes after. Otherwise, we're going like Jesus died for us at the cross, and all our sins have already been absolved, even the ones that we are going to commit tomorrow, because Jesus has died for them. So no, we have to try and make the endeavor to do our very best, and then.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you very much for the beautiful lecture. I had 3 questions, but I don't know if I can ask them. So, the first question is that you spoke about the vibration of the holy name, and we often hear that it is so important to chant the pure name, and we are still not there yet. Then I was thinking that this vibration, for example, if someone else is hearing this vibration of the holy name, so is the effect of this vibration dependent on the heart of the recipient or the chanter?
Is the effect based on the recipient or the chanter? I have a quote somewhere, and it will take me a moment to find it, but it is very nice and relevant. So I'm gonna find it. First I have to find the software. It's a bit spaced out this morning. Here it is. It is, I know it is from Caritamrta. So now I have to find southern. Where's Caritamrta? Here's Caritamrta. Okay, maybe here it is. Hey, not there. Is it here? No, maybe it's not. Oh, Krishna. Shame on me. Okay, I'm going to try and do it from memory, which is, it's not my best day for memory. A little brain fog today. But it is basically about it's a discussion, and Radharani is there, Lalita is there, and it is about the chanting of the holy name. And the statement is made that this name is so potent, right, with wonderful qualities, that the chanter will always discover something new and something fresh in the name and will never tire of chanting the name. And then Lalita is commenting and she says, but that's not everything. It also depends on the heart of the chanter. And the heart, and even the name may be always fresh, but as the heart of the chanter is filled with love, it is even relished more. So that particular verse, which I just couldn't find, is emphasizing two sides, right? The potency of the name itself, whether the heart is made of stone or whatever, the name will act. Pasupaki jula pasanavidare. Even the birds, they will get the mercy. They will chant. The stones will melt, right? And so the automatic effect of the name is there on everyone. And yet, when the heart is filled with love, then we'll find so many more things. Yeah. Okay. I will stop. Thank you very, very much. Shri Prabhupada ki jai.